Hello everyone, welcome back to another interesting mock interview. So we have a special guest, we have a Priyanshi basically who will be giving a mock interview with us. So this mock interview is all about the React. So we are going to build a small application, start with that and going to enhance with lot of capabilities on top of it. So without wasting further time, let me call Priyanshi to basically, hey Priyanshi, how are
Yeah,
you doing?
I'm good. How are you? It was nice coming to this interview, and it is going to be a great experience getting interviewed by you.
It's my pleasure. Great. So before we jump into the interview part, why don't you introduce yourself in terms of where you are working, how much experience you have, and maybe your company?
Yeah, so basically, I graduated in 2019. Then I started with, I joined one service-based company where initially in my career, I was given like working on tools like Oracle Apex and NetSuite, but I was not enjoying that thing. So, then I always wanted to, go into front end. So I started learning React, and then after learning React, I switched my company, and right now I'm working as a React developer from last 2 years. So yeah, that is what I want to.
Awesome. So I think this is going to be very interesting. So let's get started. So share your screen. I've shared a link with you. Let's get into the hands-on. So what we are going to build. So it will seems like hey, this is something that I have started my career with. So that is what we are going to start, and we are going to enhance on top of it. So we are going to start with building a to-do application. So what you have to build a to-do app in React.
So
So what I want, especially to get started with, starting with a listing and a creation flow. When I say listing, so you have an API that you get from the like this is an endpoint which is a dummy data that will provide related to the to-dos. You have to list down those to-dos, and there should be an option where you can create and add those to-dos to that particular list. So this is what we will get started with.
okay, okay. So should I change the language to React if it is
It's
there?
it's a React. It's a React one. So let me double check if
Okay,
it is.
JavaScript plus React.
So you can use the import statement and other things as a part of it if you want. That will work. So you get everything as a React window object. So you can assume and you can start working.
Okay, okay, okay. Let me first build a function const to enter, and then we just return. Return here. We will be returning something right now. That's fine.
Maybe if it will be great if you can share your thought, like what you're trying to do.
Yeah, currently, right now, I'm creating a functional component where I will be creating a to-do application. So, writing the basic of the functional component, import. Now, I will be writing the import React. From we will not get this things from like it will not get auto populated.
Okay, so autocomplete may not be working in this particular case, so that you have to be aware.
Okay, can I get the imports and all from some browser?
You can. So let me help you on that. Go ahead with the function. I will tell you how you can basically access the import statement. Just
Yeah,
I will configure that for you.
to-do application. So we will be by loading JSON.done. Okay, so when the component will load, we will have to fetch this dummy JSON. So we will use a use effect
Mhm.
for fetching it. And we will call a callback.
So I will help you. This is how you can get the React instance. Basically.
So right now I'm using the fetch API fetch function. And let me just see first where this is load for the first time. I will put the dependencies so that it just fetch for the first time and initially when the page is loaded.
Mhm.
me to const data equal to fetch. And let me do console. What data I will get? Let me just run the code and see what I'm getting. A use effect is not imported.
Try to figure out the mistakes that you have done in current code.
Okay.
Use effect which is not imported, let's import it. That is one.
Second thing is const data. Expected this. It should be in string. No.
Okay, fix that.
What else?
Import, maybe that is one we talked about.
Import use effect. Import. I think we can import it directly here.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Use effect. No, not like that. Or we can instead we can directly use React dot use effect.
Okay.
So yeah, right now we are having the to-do application. So I want one input.
Okay. Before going that, let's see if even you are getting the data or not.
Yeah. So where can I see the console here?
You can go into browser console, do inspect and check the browser.
Console.log what I have written, editor, code. Okay, not data. I'm getting one promise. So I need to do .json or .stringify .json.
Okay. How do you handle promises?
Then
Okay.
then
Hmm.
and then I have to just stringify this or then and response. What is the error I'm getting? Spending.
So what does the then basically takes?
So when the promise is fulfilled, so we get the response. We get it. The loop will go to the then, and
So
we'll get.
then what do you have? What do you pass in then?
We pass the response.
You
Okay,
get a
we pass
response.
the response, and then we can return the response. So
Okay.
wait, is happening. Get a response, and then
So anytime you feel like you want some hint or suggestion, feel free to ask. I will be happy to do that.
yeah, can you just help me because I'm first time using this fetch API.
No worries. So whenever we talk about then, it takes a callback. And when we say it takes a callback, it takes it as a function basically that you can leverage, right? And what you get as a response. Now, the response that you get, how do you get the response? So the data that you are getting from the remote, is it in format of, in the network, the data is in format of JSON or a serialized data? In a stringified version or it is a JSON data? How do you get the data?
It's stringified version.
Stringified, you have to convert into JSON, right?
Yeah, JSON.parse.
Go ahead.
So we have to convert into JSON dot Cards.
Or probably I can suggest you over here because you may not be using it on a regular basis. So I will recommend you to use JSON response.json.
Response. Okay.
That will
Gotcha.
help you to get it. So now you have it. What do you wanted to do? Go ahead.
So still I'm getting it as a
Try to think why,
promise.
how promises generally works. So as you mentioned, promises are synchronous or asynchronous. How promises basically works?
Asynchronous.
Asynchronous. It means the data from the fetch is not going to be collected at the line number 6.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It won't get into the data, const data. It will come later on. And what is the point in an async fashion when you are going to get the data?
Sync function, we will get the data directly. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Can you come up again?
So basically you have a fetch which is async, which means
Yeah.
the data which you get from the fetch will not be directly assigned to the const data, to
Yeah.
the variable that you have created, because it is async. It will come sometime in future, right? What is
Yes.
the point then you are at which point you are confident, hey, I have the data with me? What is that line or a statement at that time you can say, hey, I have the data from the promise? What is that piece of code in this line?
Um,
You just
so
wrote then, right?
yeah.
So inside then you are getting the response, right?
Yes.
So what is
After
the one
then,
place where you can say that you have the data?
yeah, when we get it to then we have like the promise is fulfilled and we
Okay.
have the data.
So the console.log that you are doing
Hmm.
has to be done inside once you have the data, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, how to refresh it? It's getting refreshed.
You can reload your application also, like browser also that way. Nothing is getting back. Go to the data. Okay, if you want, I can help you on the handling with the fetch.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So basically what you are doing, you have this, then once you get the data, basically what you want. You wanted to process the data, convert into the serialized data, and then you wanted to access it for further consumption. You have the data now. Now you can do anything like, hey, what is the data that I am getting, right? So this is what you actually wanted to do. Let's see. Do a save and try to execute. Did you got the data?
Yes.
You have the data. Now let's use this data.
So we have to use. Okay. So right now we have the data. We have to save this data in one. So we can have one state, one data, to the data, to the data, and then set to the data is equal to state. Right now I'm having this empty area. So here we will be doing a set to set to the data, and then we will be saving this. Instead here only we can save it, and we can this data.
Okay, you have your data. Now
State is not defined, so we can use React here. React dot use state.
sounds good. Let's leverage this data in order to render your list.
So here I will have list where I will have this to do data. to do data dot map. So to do dot data, then we will have this item, and then we can have this link, li link. Sorry, list. Inside ordered list. Item dot what's the data? So right now let me just do this item. Where it is going wrong there is dot map. Expecting this. Here we should have the return. And then we have to put this inside this return.
Okay, that was one part. What about other part?
Because we are using this JSX variable, so we will be using inside this curly braces, and then we have this map function item return this.
Let's try to fix one thing at a time, right? So
Yeah.
line number 15. Do you see any syntactical error over there?
Solution in the past are expected to find that this to match this token here.
I can help you. I can guide you in some of the idea. Line number 15.
Let me first think.
No. See, there is some syntactical issue.
To dot map. This is JSX, so we are using this. Okay. Again, we are using a callback here. So map.map, and we are using a callback item. Okay. This will be inside this. Here will be this item. This will be a callback.
Okay. So
and inside this, we will have this thing.
Oh, you already had it, right? Okay, you wanted to move. Ultimately, it's the same code that you're going to write, right? It's okay.
Yeah, just a minute. We first remove this one. And what is the next thing?
That is one. Now help me with one thing. So do you see the return that you have done on line number 13? Does it have any issue?
Yes, it will return something and then.
Oh, line number 13, the return of a to-do component. So do you see any issue what you are returning and what you can actually return in React?
Yeah, we should have a fragment. React uses only one. Yes.
Okay.
So should I reload it? Where can I see the?
You can close the console and you will be able to see the output at the bottom. You can reduce the left side bit, probably that aspect. Yeah. Now try to see one thing at a time. What is the issue? What is the problem?
Let me first remove this comment and this. Let me console.log item first.
Okay.
Okay, something is wrong with this to-do.map.
So let's see what is this to do.
To-do.data is coming here. So
What is to do?
to-do is a variable like we are using in a
What it contains?
right now it contains all the data that we will fetch while loading the
When we
application.
say all the data, what exactly the data it contains?
So right now we were getting the array of data.
Is it an array of data? Are you sure?
Let me just see. Like I forgot what was actually there. It was no. Wait, just a minute.
So do the inspect.
Okay. This is an object, and an object map method doesn't work.
Mhm,
So we have to go to item dot to dos.
mhm.
So here I will go here, and here I will go to item to dos data dot uh, to dos dot to dos. Then we can use this map method because right now we are having this array.
Okay. If that's the case, then the line number 5, the initial state that you have taken, is that correct?
Line number 5. Yeah, because we are anyway storing the here all else we can do here also data dot to dos.
Mhm.
So we will directly store the to dos data.
Okay.
So if I will open this here, so we can do directly this and we can remove this. And we can use this question mark in case if we are getting undefined or no data, then it will not throw an error.
Sure. Go ahead.
So let me just close this console. And here we will use this set data. Remove this.
So
So
finally you are able to see
make
it's an interrupt. The interview, right?
here have to render inside the curly brace.
Okay. Let's fix it. Can you render item? What is item? What is the data type of item?
Um, okay, so item data type item console dot like data in check. So item is again and object.
Hmm?
So we have to render item dot to item dot close this and check. Yeah. And we are getting 111. Instead, I want we can have unorganized. We want a checkbox here, so instead of rendering this, I can have an input field and with a checkbox.
Wait.
So
So before even we get into that, so can you do inspect and see how what you are actually rendering? So is it allies that we are getting, or it is irrelevant data that is getting rendered? Do inspect and see the DOM, the elements. Basically, go to the element tab and see what you are actually rendering in the DOM.
okay,
So you can duck this in the bottom also. So, but duck the console in the bottom. So how many UL are you rendering in short?
How many you will, the number of elements we get, like
Is that
number of,
or something we should fix? Do you really need those many ULs?
so if we are rendering the complete list, so we will need this
So how the ULLI basically works in general? So do you need for with every LI you need a UL, or with one UL there can be multiple LI? How that works?
with one UL we can have multiple li.
But in your case, with every LI you have a UL. Don't you think?
Yes, yes. So what we can do, yes, exactly, that is the issue here. Okay, so we were having this, and because of the each item it is getting called again and again. Oh yeah, we what we can do is we can have this UL here
Mhm.
outside, and then inside we can have this to do,
Mhm.
and we can have this and we can remove this here. So it will render only li, not ul.
Okay, sounds good. Now let's create a functionality to add the new to do to this particular list.
Yeah. So we will have one. We will first have a. We can have one input text. And an input text, and then we will have one button here. Button add. Button.
Is HTML case sensitive or not?
HTML is case. HTML is not case sensitive. I think.
But when you render the same thing in capital and small in React, does it may have a same meaning or a different meaning altogether?
No,
Like
no. We'll
example,
have.
the button.
Yes, yes.
Okay?
So what we will do, we will have a on submit. On submit. When we click on add button, we will have a function on click. We will call a function add task. Okay. And then we will have this function here.
You get to do the left hand. That will be,
First add task. It will take e as an event, and then what it will do, it will have this set to set to tools.data, and we will have the to-dos.data, plus indirectly, and then we can have this e dot target dot value. So what will happen? Um, Let us. This is the e dot target dot value won't take this. We can have a ref. We can have a one ref,
Yeah.
or else we can have a value input. But ref will create and I don't want to use ref on submit. We can use form and then we can use on submit in short.
Say suppose you don't want to go in a form, because if you go to
Then
the form, there are other level of handling that you have to do. So
ref and then we can
let's
give
go for it.
ref to text. Okay. Then add task. When we will add task, we will get the reference to add ref. Use ref. Current not. We will get a current. If we are using ref here, then we can have use ref here directly. Or we can use the book here.
Right.
Text. Studio. Input. Equal to use ref. Not use ref, and we can have studio input here. And when we are clicking on the add button, it will come here and how to get that current to do dot to do input.
Yeah.
So we will get this to do input dot current dot value. I think. First console dot this thing. So if I click something here, dot value. Okay, we are getting this value. But where are we getting? To develop map is not a function.
So let's try to think what actually you are sitting on line number 18. Can you figure it out, the problem at line number 18?
Line number 18. Tool dot data is like array. So we are using here spread operator. Okay, and so the array spread it, or we can have the story dot data and then
So values you wanted to skip, don't skip. Let's fix it first.
so when we already have this data, so we wanted to add this another new data, that new to that we have entered. So we are using the spread operator, so it will spread the data, and then it will add that data in this to
Let's break this problem one by one. So add the spread operator, the previous one which you added for to do data. Let's add it back. Okay. Now understand one thing. What do you wanted to store in the set to do data? What is the data type that you wanted to set inside set to do data?
I think array.
It's an array, right?
Yeah.
Now, when you do something as a spread using this three dots, what you're doing, you're just spreading things. Do you
Hmm.
wanted to collect thing in certain data type over here, certain container?
Yeah. So we can use array here, and then we can have this.
Okay, let's see if that works. You can close the dev tool and try working on that. Let's see. Got a item which is Oppo, which is correct. But do you really wanted to set a Oppo inside your to-do list or something else that you wanted to add?
Um,
What does the all the other to-dos
yeah,
have?
it is an object. Every other to do is an object, and they are having they are having the numbering, I think, and other fields also.
Mhm. So shall
So
we have similar kind of a structure
yeah,
before storing that?
yeah, yeah. So need to check what they are having. So completed ID to do and user ID. So we can have here, here we can have create one structure here, new data equal to we have completed, that will be false, and then ID will be uh, to-do.length, to-do.data.length plus one, G plus. Now I can explain what I need to do will be this value. ID will be random. Math of random schedule. User ID also random.
You don't need user ID. You can remove it. It's okay.
Okay. So what we will do, we will have this new data here. So if I add something got broken, unexpected token, salary. So cannot read the property of undefined reading to do. Line number here. Here it will be fine reading to do, and then okay, function of item is undefined. Item is undefined. To do here I have given to do new data. Should I use spread operator here? That's it.
Oh, don't randomly try doing this. Maybe try to optimize, you will be able to get your answer. So whenever you get stuck, maybe reduce your left hand side before so that you can focus. Let's get one by one. First, scroll up. Try to indent your code better. So format your code above the function that you have written. Yeah. Your format. You do not always get it. You want the shortcut, but you do not always get it. Okay. It's okay. So you have formatted. Now what you are saying in the new to do, whatever you are actually having, to do dot length, you are increasing the completed. This is the object that you created, and that is the object that is getting actually added. So okay, and you have this to do which I can see. You have ID to do everything with that, and you have set to do data. Okay, let's try. So maybe one thing, the one which you have taken at line number 20, maybe comment that piece of code for now. We'll come to that part. Try executing if you are able to get the data. Let's see.
Yeah.
Able to see that?
Yes.
Can you see some issue on line number 20?
So to do data dot length, so to do data dot length plus. So right, like what I was trying to do is I was trying to set the ID as per the number of to-dos we have.
Which is okay. But
Yeah.
when you do plus plus on something, do you understand the repercussion of that? What you're changing? So what I meant by, have you tried doing AR dot length is equal to 20?
AR dot
Open the
length.
console. Open the console. Increase it. So clear everything. Create a var A is equal to empty array.
A is equal to empty array.
Print A again. Do a plus plus on the terminal console. Do a plus plus so that you can zoom in. Zoom. Just zoom a bit on your console. Yeah. Control plus plus do that. A bit more. Perfect. Now write console log and print A. Print it. Write A dot length is equal to 20.
A dot length is equal to 20.
Hit enter. Now again run console dot log A. You see something?
So we got like empty array, empty into 20. It's not okay.
So when you do length plus plus, what happened in the last scenario?
Length plus plus.
So there was, say, suppose 20 item.
Yeah.
You did a plus plus. What happened?
So, but like my question here is like we have array dot length. So if we are coming to dot length, so it won't take 20 as in.
It will take
input.
20 and do a plus one.
Let me just
Do a dot length plus plus.
A dot length.
And print A again. print A again. What do you have? How many items do you have now?
So we have 21 items.
21.
Okay, so it is increasing the length.
It is increasing. One more empty item got added, and that is what undefined was coming, and hence undefined dot to do is was something that was failing for you.
Okay, got it.
Getting?
Yeah.
So instead of doing plus plus, what you could have done?
I could have done like I could have taken the length here and then plus one inside that thing.
So
Like instead of this, I could have done plus one like this.
you see the difference between a small thing that you used have so many repercussions.
Yes.
Okay, so everything comes with a cost. No worries. So now you are able to add something to the bottom. Can we add the some to the top? The one which is coming at the bottom, can we move that move to the item to the starting?
Yes. What we can do, we can just remove this from the starting
Mhm.
and then we can put it here. This way, we can put it on the top. So if I'm writing, go to bank, and if I add it, it will go on the top.
Now what I want from you, whenever I click on these individual item that you see, that should become editable. Right now it is not editable, right? It's a text. Whenever I click on any one of them, it should become editable.
Okay, so it should be editable.
Whenever you click on it.
Okay. So if I on click, so I want to display this on click, it should be editable. Click, we can make it. We can do. First have a on click function. And so we can have this function here. And interview. So what we can do here is like when we click on this, we want it to be editable. So how to make this editable? Right now we're displaying in the form of list. But list is not editable.
So the item which I click, that item should be edited, right?
Yeah. So currently we are displaying it in the form of list. So list is not editable. What we can do? So on click we can make it in the form of when we on click we can instead of list we have to make it in the form of like a text so that we can edit it. So currently li when we're displaying in the form of list that is not editable.
Okay.
So instead of returning in the form of list, what we can do? Can you give me some hint here?
Definitely. So, so you have to think, right? The main crux over here is there are two states that you see. One, the text format, and second, probably the input format. Now, both of these are not supported at the same time. One of them will be visible at a time. What I meant by, if the first item is coming in the text format, input won't be visible. But if it is an editable format, it means the same text will be available inside the input and the normal text won't be available. So can you think of something? Hey, I have text and the input both, but those are conditionally rendered based
Yeah.
on something. Can we try something else?
So yeah, we can have a condition here where if we click on some to do item, we can take the ID of that item and we can render that ID in the form of text and the others in the form of list. So we can
So
have
it's the
some.
input and the li. So like it's a normal
Yeah.
text or the input that you are going to render, the input field, right? So let's
Yes.
do it, try that, give it a shot.
So what I can do, on click handle to do, and we can set the, we can take the ID from the item.
Okay.
Not log e. First let me log and see what we are getting. Okay, so here we are getting.
So in order to get the ID, you have to set the ID, don't you think?
Actually, we have the ID, right?
Where is that ID?
अच्छा to dot map and um,
So you are getting a event of li, isn't it? So li is an item that you are able to access. So your e dot target is what? It's a li, the li that you have on line number 41, isn't it?
just a minute. So okay, we can have here key also, key, and we can have the key as index.
Will that work?
Wait, let me first see. This. Okay, and what I'm getting in item here. In item, we have this ID.
Yeah.
So, but what I'm printing item not to do. Okay, on click I will. So here we can have a key is equal to item dot ID.
Mhm.
Now if I click here,
In the key
that is what I'm searching.
is key a DOM property.
No.
So you know the ID is a DOM property, isn't it?
Okay.
Can't you
So
set that?
yeah, item dot ID. So let me click on this.
So it's an event. Can you print e dot target? So get into the target and see if you can access that. So you have a target on the console also. Expand that.
Even the target dot this.
Check if you have access to the ID over here.
We have ideas.
So life is sorted.
Yeah.
Now let's try to leverage this.
So we can set the ID. Let me take another. We can have set ID a.target dot ID. And here what we will do, if we are rendering the item, here li, so we have the condition, we can filter it out that item dot filter.
So you have to do filter over here or something else.
If id is there, item dot id is present, item dot id is equal to id that we are having. Okay, then we will have this. Then we will have this input type is equal to text and value is equal to item dot to do. Otherwise, we will have this. So if I'm clicking here, it will be okay, editing. On click, it should edit. So what we can do, we can run on click and it should edit. Item dot to.
We can get the on change and on click sort of thing, but let's first render this. Like if it is working perfectly fine. So the functionality we can add on top of it later on.
So if I click on this, it is like editable.
So if you click on this and click on the other, click on the other. Okay. Now, what I want you, instead of implementing the on change and update functionality, I want you to implement a toggle functionality. What does it mean? If you have a toggle, then your fields are editable. If it is disabled, then it means your none of the fields are editable. Like you cannot click and that click won't work.
None of the items are editable.
Yes, if it is off. So it's like view mode or edit mode. So if it is a view mode, so this click won't work, and if it is a edit mode, then it will work. But only thing that you have to do, you have to create your own use toggle hook in order to achieve it. So create your own custom use toggle hook, which helps you to achieve this functionality.
Okay. So we can have one toggle button here. Toggle button is nothing but a checkbox. Can we have a button here in short, and then I can render based on. And then what we can do, we can have here right now value toggle. Okay, and we can have const right now it will be like true, not edit. Let me give it true right now. So we will also hook is nothing but a function, like what we create a function that can be reused in other application in other places. So okay, nothing is coming because I'm not given anything. So if it's true, then it will be added and just leave the rest. So what we can do is handle toggle const handle toggle is equal to we will have arrow function. So what we will do set toggle set toggle and then we will have negation of what toggle was before. So this will happen. And we will have this handle toggle here. Click
You can view the left panel so that you can focus.
handle. So right now what we will do, it should be active, otherwise it should be ignored. So we have one more condition here, id and if toggle is true, then only we can do this, otherwise we will put this.
Okay.
So right now it is true, so if I click on this it will edit, but if I will do this edit, so if I click it won't edit.
Perfect. So can we, the logic that you have written for the toggle, can we make it a hook? Like your custom hook, use toggle hook.
Yes, so instead we can have use handle toggle and then what we can do here, we can use handle toggle here, export, and then we have to export, return this thing, return however instead we will have this toggle function here. This thing here. Instead of use state, we can just have a toggle and then we can return can just have equal to we can send some value here, whatever value will be first, it will be that we will be getting, and we can set the props here, props, and then whatever again we can do return, where we're returning so what we will do here, we will have this function, we can have a const toggle is equal to use handle toggle, and we will have first. So, okay. And then yeah, you can use that toggle here. What is handle toggle? No, not handle toggle. So this is what I've created a custom hook. We are returning this toggle value, and then wait, something I've done wrong here. Use handle toggle. Toggle. This toggle. We will get the value use. Okay. Inside we have to have a function const toggle function toggle value is equal to and we can have this and we can return toggle value. We have to return this toggle value here. We have to return this thing, and then we have to return here export here export toggle value. So what we will do, we will have this use handle, and then we will get this thing.
Oh, I got it. What you're trying to do. I think we need a lot of improvement in terms of the custom implementation that we are doing. No worries on that. The one which you written export, we have to understand either it is runtime or at a build time, right? That is one. The second, can we have the hook implementation in the same component? That is another. Like, what is the sequence of order of execution of lines that we wrote basically inside a component, right? So I think there are many things that
Instead
have
of export, sorry, we have to return only because we are using in the same component. So we can use the function directly.
and on top of it, can you do exports within a function? So you have a function. Does function does export or files does it export?
No, we can use export in the function also.
Oh, within a function you can do export.
Wait. Like if we are having multiple components in the same file, like we can create two components in the same file.
So you export at what level? You export at a file level or within a function you export something?
Function level here.
So that is at a file level you export function, but within a function can you export something?
Within a function.
Like line number 41, is that relevant?
No, I don't think so.
I think there are a lot of thing that has to be fixed in this particular toggle as a hook that you have created, but rest I got it what you basically try to do. So yep, I think this is good one, and we can always keep on enhancing things. So I'm good in terms of the things that we wanted to cover in this particular round. So feel free to ask any question, any doubt that you have.
Yeah, can you just help me with this hook right now?
Okay, there are multiple things. So when we talk about hook, you have to also think about reactivity of your code, right? So that has to be thought through. So when I say reactivity, you have to maintain a state within your toggle hook. That is one. Second, what do you export from this particular function? That also matters. What I meant by, so when I say export, but what you return. So what you are going to return, you are going to return something like this, which is one is the toggle and second is the toggle value function, right? So this is something that you have to return so that the consumer will get the value and consumer will get the option to toggle a value, right? Both of these things that you are getting in a state, those are directly you will get from this particular hook. Now the logic to do this toggling will reside inside the hook so that a consumer don't have to worry about how do I toggle my value. So that is what going to happen, but you have to maintain a state inside this in order to achieve that, right? So that is how you will be able to drive it. So I hope this started making value sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Do take care of certain things when you are actually creating a hook inside the same component. How so generally you make hook custom hook so that it can be reused in multiple places. Second, the order of execution of your hook which you have as in defined and the one which you are actually consuming inside your file, right? So those are small things that has to be taken care over here. Sound good?
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, tell me how was your experience, overall experience in terms of this round?
Yeah, I think I need a lot of preparation. Still not very good with hands-on, but it was good. Like, uh, to do the live coding in front of someone from whom you are already learning. So I've gone through your courses and your videos, so it's very good. Like I am just fortunate enough that I'm getting this chance to do this.
It's my pleasure. I hope you got to learn something in this particular
Yeah,
interview.
sure. Like I learned a lot of things. Like first thing is that array dot len dot plus plus we cannot do that. I was not knowing this thing, and many more things. Thank you.
Awesome. So with that, thanks a lot, Priyashi, for basically chipping in and coming to give this interview. I know this is very tough for anyone to, hey, randomly we will have some live coding and let's have an interview, right? So this is something which I wanted to make it real in terms of how you actually go into any of the interview. There's some feedback that I wanted to provide. One,
Yeah.
the kind of the deviation that I see when you started and when you were actually working after a certain time, the confidence, the way you coded, the fluency that you get was actually good, right? So what I meant by, so whenever you get into any of the interview, be confident. So be confident in terms of you sometimes keep on wasting very small, doing silly mistake and lot of time. So second, if you get stuck, work on two things. One, debug the in the right fashion so that you can move fast. That is unblock yourself. The
Yeah.
second is if you are literally blocked, feel free to ask, take help. Hey, can you suggest? I'm really stuck. I know what need to be done. It's just something is not coming to my head, right? So feel free to ask these questions to the interviewer, and sometimes things go smoothly, and sometimes you keep on wasting. The other thing, the amount of maybe hint and suggestion I have given upfront, maybe your or like interviewer is not going to give you. So
Yeah.
sometimes interviewer want you to waste that time, and which you should basically try to utilize to the maximum because you have limited time. Mostly your interviews are like 45 minutes to 1 hour, most of the cases, right? Maximum 1.5 hours, that is what you get in machine coding now. So try to leverage them to the max and give your best in terms of the interview. So overall, if I have to say that how was the overall round, I see drastic improvement. You were able to take the hint and work upon that. That is a good part which I see. But if I have to say that, hey, if you have to assess, this is for everyone. If you have to assess Priyanshi in terms of, if you are an interviewer and you have to assess and say that either Priyanshi is selected or rejected, I will leave this to the audience. Give on the comment like what do you think, basically what you are going to rate Priyanshi for. The other thing which I want everyone, so try to complete this to do app. So get it done. So try to implement the editing functionality which Priyanshi basically started with. So you go complete it and share your working URL in the comment. With that, share with all the friends as much as possible. Thanks a lot everyone for watching this, and we will have a lot more interesting interview discussions going ahead. Thanks a lot Priyanshi once again for chipping in and coming here.